that we saw Experience in the winner's side against Snowy, but he locked in Rayman every single time, all for every 3 games. Now he's back onto the Amethyst. This is what I was expecting on him, and we're in game number 1 here on Demon Island.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was expecting as well. I mean, the first time we saw Experience really have that breakout performance, we saw a lot of Amethyst, if not almost exclusively, so it's nice to see that Amethyst come back out here. But even already starting off the game, Raydish has control of the stage, right? You can see Experience kind of hugging the corner a little bit, right? It's a place he seems very comfortable, as we've seen in set and set and set after that, and he's going to be able to keep that going. Now this time he does have the cannon, and he's one of the best cannon players out there, man, so I'm expecting to see some huge conversions as well.
Ooh, and that's one of those conversions. Experience very good at getting the cannon ground pound above stage and then leading it into nairs afterwards, and that second nair getting the knockout off the top. Raydish going down to 2 stocks already, and Experience barely damaged here as he goes over to the axe to fight against Raydish's gauntlets. And Raydish, I'm expecting him to get some really sick strings off stage and in the air off of wake-ups, but until then, Experience has just kind of been knocked. Oh no, is this gonna be a 3-stock-to-1 lead?
I was gonna say, I was getting pretty scary there because we saw Raydish burn his dodge really early, which gave Experience a decent amount of time, and these weapon throws have been clocking Raydish in the head over and over again. He has to be careful here as Experience is mounting quite a bit of a lead here. This is a lot of force on zone, man. You don't want to play with this guy too long.
Yeah, Raydish goes for the downer to get the return knockout. Experience goes out for 1 dare. Oh no, Raydish.
Wow.
Okay, it actually works. Okay, so Raydish did that same maneuver against Stingray maybe 8 times or more in the last set, and not a single one of them worked, and it led to a punish. But now I see, even though Experience takes a 3-1 lead here, why Raydish likes to go for it is because it lasts so long, and Experience did actually get baited and get hit by the very end of it. So let's see if Raydish can take a stock at this point. Like I was gonna say, even though it's a little worse, it's a little worse for wear than that. Okay, gets the recovery. Now it's 2-1. This is where Raydish has to get that 0 to death going if he wants to have a chance to take in game 1.
All right, and so far Raydish getting the double end light with the orb. He's racking up quite a bit of damage. Not a whole lot of defense on the Amethyst here, so if Raydish can continue that pressure, he may have a shot of bringing this one back. You can see Experience doesn't want that to happen, right? Probably going to do a weapon throw to go ahead and break the mold, hop in there with maybe an end light or jump into a Sayer to try and read some defensive option, but so far, Raydish kind of struggling a little bit to find the hit. There we go. Ooh,
nicely done.
Tatsumaki Senpukya.
That Raydish with the orb, trying to get a follow-up after that. I mean, it was nice that he connected with the move, but despite the low-ish defense of Amethyst, still in the orange here, it's going to be quite a while before either Gauntlets or Orb can do enough knockback on their own. He goes to the downer, though, and he gets the recovery, and Raydish is on his way to the reverse 3-stock. It was 3-1 not but a minute ago, and now Raydish has got it 1-1. Severely damaged, though, and if Experience is able to get either a down air to nair, or maybe even a ground pound in the nair, this could be huge. I mean, the nair on its own was almost enough.
Almost got clipped by the down sig as well. Oh, this could be huge. The weapon throw is looking scary. I'd like the pickup again from Experience for the mix-up. He needs to get back on stage. He has to get around the gauntlets. The weapon throw, he's spending a lot right here. He needs to get back to center, and the weapon spawn summon from Experience to give him that last side air to go ahead and secure game 1, but it was close.
There was like 4 ground pounds that nearly came close to taking Experience's last stock off there. That was so incredibly close. I really was just saying maybe Raydish can do the reverse 3-stock for the heck of it. Like I didn't believe it until the very end. I was just kind of like, well, maybe there's a chance. So no, there really is honestly like that. The same thing happened in his matchup against Stingray too, where I've just noticed that no matter how behind he gets into the game, he is just constantly actively figuring out how to fight against his opponent, and the momentum keeps scaling and scaling, and that makes me very excited for game number 2, because the end of game 3 there, or end of game 1, I said game 3 because I was thinking stock 3. He almost took that, and I was not even close to being able to think that that was even possible. So really great adaptation from Raydish mid-game.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even see it in the numbers, right? Like, did almost 200 damage less than Experience there, but was able to still maintain an incredibly close game. He was able to kind of keep that up. The way he was playing toward the end of that final stock was looking pretty good. He wasn't able to clutch it, but he was looking very convincing, and he kept it competitive. He can keep some of that energy going into this game, too, on Apocalypse, like he is right now. He's racking up some damages, getting some reads. This can be perfect for him to make a comeback.
Yeah. And now Experience with the axe, hitting back, side air hits. Raydish had a really good start. Dashing forward, dashing back. No one's going for that weapon change just yet. Really wants to play this Gauntlet versus Axe matchup. Silent hits, goes to Shuriken, and no, doesn't get hit, but instead the weapon throws come through. I think Experience tried to dip down to grab the Axe after the weapon throw and just barely missed it. Otherwise, that could have been huge.
Yeah, would have been able to make a crazier play. Unfortunately, was not the case here.
What?
And he gets around. He goes extremely high because you can see he was like, I know you might try to fastball and go for the wall touch here. So if I go for the gravity cancel down sig unarmed, I might be able to catch it, but did not work that time around. Experience was just able to sneak around. Doesn't matter though, because he ends up losing the stock first.
Yeah, got the nice Gauntlet ground pound. Okay. Experience read that gravity cancel neutral sig so far ahead of time that he jumped around him, fast spell, jumped in an air. It's like, that was probably the hardest punish on that move that I've ever seen, and he actually gets knocked out off the top for that, so Experience even things up, but Raydish fighting right back off stage. Recovery gone. Nair hits though to chase dodge, gets him back, and Experience has to go to the other side of the stage. Huge turnaround for Raydish.
Oh yeah, that was, I mean, he needed that one, let me tell you, because otherwise he could have been losing that stock right there, but Experience doing quite a bit of approaching here, a little bit more than we were used to in some of the past few games, but that ground pound's gonna be enough, and he goes ahead and seals the deal there. I don't even think he needed that second D-like ground pound. We saw the sweat beats coming out of Experience there, but he said, you know what, I want to make sure I clean off the bottom of my Tims before we move on to the next stock. So, you know what, we'll take it, but Experience definitely probably not thinking he'd be behind by this much.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I was talking about, the momentum just scaling and scaling more and more in game number 1. Like, he was behind 1 stock to 3, but every single second I felt like, okay, Raydish is getting a better hold on this opponent matchup. And look at that, just jumping around with the downlights on the orb, really applying the pressure. Sidelight side air puts Experience to the orange, and he dips down under the sidelight punish from Experience, and another sidelight Sarah puts him off stage. Downsig forces the dodge. That's the punish, but that was almost an entire stock of unanswered damage from Raydish.
Now, I will say Experience has opted to go for the cannon here. He didn't even try to starve that last weapon spawn we saw, so we know what Experience's win condition here. He's looking for that one read. We know what cannon can do. It can be an explosive punish, especially on Amethyst if he's able to find it, but I feel like the light attack accuracy from Experience for the past like minute or so has not been it. So we'll see. Once again, still hasn't landed a blow. Raydish saying, bro, just stop. All right, I'm better. That's what he said with that last side air.
And what's interesting about that matchup is that I felt like there was a moment there where Experience was kind of like, I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly what you're about. When he did that work, when he basically just jumped around the map so that he could nair a neutral singing Ryu, right? And I was like, okay, you're really calling Raydish out here. But then Raydish was perfectly fine the rest of the match, and here he goes with a JV2 and game number 2 as we're going to game number 3 with Raydish playing so much better than he did in game 1.
Which now I'm wondering, I mean, Experience hasn't tried to slow things down. If anything, heading into this game number 3, it's looking like he's trying to speed things up, and so far it's working. Haven't seen much of a response come out from Raydish as Experience just seems to be pummeling through this first stock. We'll see if he's able to slow things down. Nice wake up. Enlight into the recovery there. Almost gets the finishing blow with the Ash recovery. He's swapping weapons so fast here. It's hard to keep track of exactly what Experience is doing, but somehow Raydish is hanging on.
Well, Raydish has played around that downsig perfectly 3 times. He was standing right in the little dead zone of the blast in between his opponent and where the downsig casts. Was able to get 2 neutral lights and then outrange the fully charged downsig. Experience takes the first stock though after a crazy impressive cannon play. But Raydish is not as far behind as I feel like would be unsalvageable. After seeing that game number 1, I still feel like he's pretty comfortable here. It's whether Experience continues playing as well as he did with the cannon, because what he's doing with the cannon now is what I think you were hoping to see last game.
That's exactly it, Taz. I was expecting, you know, a lot more damage, a lot more conversions. I was expecting things to hit. When he got that cannon in the last stock of that last game, he didn't hit anything.
Single move,
So with this is much better. Granted, Raydish still struggling here, needs that final blow. Is it going to be a downsig here? He'll get punished for that if he doesn't. Maybe an N-sig reverse. No, he's just going to back up and actually swap over to the orb because he has that sidelight Sayer true combo, but he hasn't been able to land the sidelight. Experience. If there's any player who's good at icing people out, waiting for weapon spawn, it is Experience.
That's right. And Raydish is able to get a side light or side air here and there, but he hasn't really gotten that side light that gets him that extra bit of movement towards the direction he's going to hit his opponents. Experience gets hit by another Sayer. The weapon throw doesn't hit, dodge forced. Gauntlet's picked up, but no ground pound comes through, and Experience is on the verge of another 3 stock to 1 lead as that weapon throw goes back up and he picks it up, and I'm expecting a dash jump Sayer at this rate. I mean, okay.
Another one.
gosh.
Ooh, the slow-mo.
Pick it up again. The slowest weapon throw possible.
Yeah, you got mix-ups on mix-ups with these throws, bro. He's about to throw another one. He said, you know what, before you get a chance, let me just go ahead and tear you off the side of the stage. But it's crazy how the momentum has been changing between these games. Like, the last game was the Raydish show, and then suddenly became the Experience show all over again. Is this going to turn around one more time?
Well, for Raydish's sake, I hope so, because Demon Island has looked phenomenal for Experience. Raydish getting the neutral light, waiting out the iframes, picks up the orb. That is like one of Raydish's favorite combos to do on the right side of the stage there. I've seen him hit it like 3 times now. Tries to get it started up again, but the sidelight misses, neutral light misses, and Experience does get hit with the bottom of the recovery into a dare. Good damage buildup from Raydish. This could be the stock. He's low on jumps. Recovery hits, disarms him from the cannon, and Raydish, constant pressure, gets the Shoryuken up the top, and that's the KO to even up the game.
That's what I love to see, man. Forward down, forward punch. For all the Street Fighter players out there, you love to see that hit, the heavenly Rising Dragon punch, going ahead and taking out Experience's last stock there. And granted, this is getting to be a much closer game than it looked like it was going to be out the gate, right? Like, Experience had a whole lot of momentum going out, and it seems to be that that has slowed down a bit. Raydish, though, gonna see if he can rack up the damage deficit first before we can start talking about, like, is this slipping out of Experience's hand?
Well, it's starting to slip out of Experience's hand after you said that, because he got hit by 3 clean attacks on the orb. Downer hits. Raydish tries to land with a down air, but it's stacked, and Experience blasts him away with the neutral light, and here he begins the down stick coverage. D-Light dare, that's going to beat. Wait.
Oh, off the backboard, he's living.
Stage? Okay, he did, yeah. The backboard like that. That's
going
like
to be Raydish coming back to the stage.
I was like, what? How could he? Oh no, dude, it's usually it's pretty reliable on Demon Island. When I see a downlight downer on cannon hit, I'm like, okay, you're probably gone. But no, Experience was able to get it with the edge guard. And we're going to a match point in Experience's favor. Wondering what the map pick's going to be. I don't think there's going to be any legends switching between either of these players. Raydish is pretty committed to the Ryu.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. And I'm wondering as well, like, I was going to say, are we going to go to a stage with platforms? And it looks like Apocalypse, like, yeah, I guess that counts, you know, in terms of, like, comparison to Miami Dome or Enigma or something like, yeah, okay, this is a little bit more tame. But I think it should help Raydish out a little bit. You do have a little bit more side, which I think actually favors Experience a little bit, because the cannon say is something you want to do into the wall a lot. If you have more wall, that means you have more mix-up timings. But despite that, you know, it seems to be going in the favor of Experience yet again.
Nice dodge. Experience tries to go for the slide charge pivot down sig. Weapon picked up away from Experience, dodges in place, was hoping to cancel into a silent if he could catch him, but he reacts in time. But oh, he gets the ground pound, and Experience actually hits the ground with the move. So the blast, he gets hit to the left because of that. I've rarely seen that in actual competitive play. Raydish survives it, however.
Wow.
Oh wait, Experience? Ooh. Okay. He can stare all the way back to the stage, but he's super low on jump options. The weapon throw interrupted the Shoryuken. That was crazy.
I like that you get to hear the sound effect, though, so you know what he was playing, and ain't no one can deny it. But despite that, I mean, we have, you know, next hit pretty much secures the KO. The end light just shy. Weapon throw, perfectly timed dodge from Experience to keep himself alive. But will it be enough? You know Raydish is looking for that final blow. A recovery will take him out, and end light again probably will do it. I don't think he'll survive another one. It might have to be from the complete opposite side, but he swapped over to the orb, and that end light doesn't quite have the juice.
I have seen an orb knockout. I've now seen an orb knockout again like after that happened. But you're right, it's not. I wonder, I've never actually thought about the rating of neutral lights. Like, what's the strongest knockout neutral light in a game? I think it's Axe.
Probably Axe, yeah. That's my guess as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Orb's up there. It's like, it's not as bad as Spear. I'm never expecting a Spear neutral light knockout. Raydish makes it happen, and that's a lot of damage that had to go on Experience, and that's a lot of damage that Raydish had on him for that downer to knock out that quickly. And here we are, 2-2 in game number 4. Raydish fighting for match point. Yeah,
Raydish needs to get the dub here. You know, this is a first to 3, and Experience already has 2 notches on the belt right there. So we need to make sure that if Raydish wants to stay alive, this is the time to bust out all the stops. He has the orb in hand. He's pushing him into the corner. He needs to get an edge guard. Hasn't really been able to close them out, aside from like one down air we saw earlier. And it works out again. Oh, if he did it the other way, still closes it out with the ground pound.
That's like, I got to worry about this as a replay later on. I wonder if the weapon throw allowed Raydish to act faster than if he had just let the down sig miss. And he was stuck in the animation.
I think you're right, dude.
Because that ground pound was like, how did he ground pound that quickly? Oh, he threw the cannon up. That was...
Because there's some end lag on that move.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty interesting. Experience may have played himself a little bit there, but Raydish, most importantly, Raydish recognizing that the hit stun on a weapon throw is so minuscule that he acted immediately and got that ground pound to get the knockout, and now could potentially bring it to a game 5.
Oh, and I love the way Raydish is playing this as well. We saw a brief moment of experience kind of sitting by the ledge a little bit, waiting him out, trying to ice him out, and it's not working. Raydish is just getting more and more hits. So far, it's looking like we could likely be going to a game 5. Experience is going to go ahead and try to stop that from happening. He's done with the twinkle toes into the gravity cancel sidelight. He has enough, and the weapon throw is going to go ahead and close that dream out. But Raydish still has one more stock. He has untouched stock, right? You know, that's a lot to work with.
Yeah, and last time it was in the situation, he got a gauntlet ground pound, and it was a JV2. And I'm like, experience, it's interesting. I feel like at this point, it's so well known by the North American pro scene that experience will try to ice you out that way. It's almost doing the opposite of the effect that it should have.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just interesting watching different players work around it, right? We saw Snowy, you know, to say LOL and, you know, get a dunk, right? And then on the other side, we have Raydish, who I think has been doing a pretty good job this far, but now as I say that, he's getting hit a lot, right? Like, he's one blow away from knocking out experience and bringing this to game 5, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to find it, because you have to swing, but that's the scary part. Experience wants you to swing so he can punish you, right? It's a whiff punish game, but you just have to pick your moments carefully.
And Raydish is trying.
Oh, he has picked the moment
he might be picking the moment a little too carefully. The most careful you could get is like an orb down air where you're literally throwing out the move, but there's the sideline side where you get him off the right side of the stage, and that brings to a game 5. But for a bit there, I was like, okay, experience went from icing out in the wall to firmly being on stage, where Raydish was like having some trouble figuring out what he should do, and then to put even more to that, there's a great orb down air knockout here. Yeah, let's see this.
Weapon throw gave him the
ground pound. That's pretty cool. I like seeing that. That's the thing that I was thinking about when watching Phazon play earlier on in the brackets.
Sick.
Where he would take axe snares and weapon throws intentionally to get an attack immediately out of the wake up because the hit stun's so short.
And the reason about that as well is, like, a lot of the times when somebody does a weapon throw, the counter plays to spot dodge. But then if you spot dodge and they think you're gonna do that, like a lot of times people do weapon throw and then like immediately run up and do an end light, and then you get punished for dodging the weapon throw. So sometimes you just want to take the hit because it's not a lot of damage anyway. But despite that, it looks like game 5 is finally starting up. We're on Demon Island.
Every single win that Experience has had has been on Demon Island.
This is facts.
And so Raydish is regardless of who picks or bans the stages, you have a choice not to go here. So Raydish is saying that he's pretty comfortable with this matchup going in here in game number 5.
We're going to see. I mean, he has the cannon in hand. Experience, you know, taking his time here. He's really trying to slow things down. We've seen this happen before. We've seen people triumph, and we've seen others fail. So we're going to see if Raydish is able to triumph. He was able to do so in the last game. He's getting a lot of consecutive hits here. He has a damage lead, but Experience is always scary when he gets like a string like that, because you don't know if it's just going to be your stock or if it's going to be a lot of damage.
Ooh, weapon throw. Double weapon throw. But the side air underneath all of it. And now he's fully charging up the side stick there. Experience, I felt like I was going to jump into it, but no, he manages to get past it. He's so damaged that a Sair, one more Orb Sair could do it. Down air for me on the ledge would be nice. That's perfect. Sidelight, side air, and the landing. Raydish only in the orange here in game 5 on Demon Island.
And I think this is where we're going to see things slow down, potentially to a crawl. I could be wrong here, but this is your bracket life, right? Like, I feel like if I'm experienced, this is the moment where I'm like, okay, let me stop. Let me think about this. He doesn't get this edge guard, but you see he's in the corner now. He's doing a lot of weapon throws. He's trying to do the safest things he can possibly do, right? That nair we just saw him do, he did it under the guise of the stage, so he couldn't get punished for it, and now he eventually finds the landing blow to secure the KO, and I expect him to keep playing like this to the very end.
Raydish is fighting back. Nice snare or neutral light. Side air into side. Oh!
Did he touch? He did.
The pressure there was pretty insane. He gets the down air, puts it down, the weapon throw doesn't cover, the grab pound still hits. Experiencing the other side, bouncing again.
Dude, he's throwing these Shinku Hadokens after Shinku Hadoken over and over and over again.
Is he doing it again?
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
There's no wall.
He's mixing it up enough with the orb down airs and ground pounds that the pressure's so varied that Experience is really on the back foot there. He makes it back damage is equalized, but that was terrifying for Experience for a moment. Let's see if we can get this edge guard here.
Oh, tries to go for the reverse recovery. That's a cheeky axe option that will send you to your sleep. If you're not paying attention, we'll tuck you right in. But despite that, it looks like Raydish has just been avoiding everything. Granted, he does have the damage deficit here, but he hasn't been hit in a little while, and he's going to be able to get the weapon spawn into the reverse Shoryuken.
Oh, but it doesn't knock out. Demon Island ceiling just tall enough to let Experience have a second chance. Oh, he interrupts the side air on Cannon with the Gauntlet Sidelight. Avoids the weapon throw, doesn't get the recovery. The Sair hits, bounces Experience off the stage. Experience now. This is what you were talking about, Flambo. At this point, it's like close, it's close enough.
Spacing.
Oh, so good.
Wow, man, that's how you know he had the foresight there, right? He said, I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna make it look extremely attractive to you to run up and do a dash delay, which means Experience actually accounted for the fact that he was gonna dash back, so he had to dash back that much more to bait out the delay and then turn around and get the punishment. Now Experience, you know, he's doing a little dance. It's that time.
I mean, this is match point, last stock. Raydish barely has 2 to play with, but because he has to, Experience has to be that much more careful. Every bit of damage that he takes does not go towards the last stock of the game, and Raydish, every time he gets that extra credit, it's just huge gains for him here in this game 5, potentially being able to go on to fight against Boomy that's waiting on the other side of the bracket. Raydish is crazy!
Oh, is this the end of the Experience? Will Raydish put it to sleep, and he will? Raydish knocks Experience out of the bracket in a 3-2 fashion with the flashiest move in the game, the Dragon Punch from Street Fighter's very own.
I can't believe that's literally a picture-perfect way of ending.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's like exactly what we're looking for. And he gets it off the gravity cancel pivot, I think, too. Experience just goes down here in lower round 1 at 7th place, and Raydish and knocking him out is going to be fighting against Boomy in the quarter. Okay, let's see this right here.
Boom, to the side. Throw him down. Waits. Ooh, thank you. Give me that. Ah. Boom.
Huge.
Then he waits for him to come down. This is where the juice is. Mmm. Delicious.
Oh, yeah. Right there on the weapon spawn. Beautiful.
That's the way to do it.